Previously, we did a video on why so many people are leaving Florida, and this is kind of a part 2 to it. And we're going to tell you why Florida's housing crisis is driving people out.
But we just want to make sure that you know that more people actually stay than leave.
Yeah, we had a lot of comments on the last video from people saying, well, the population's growing. Yes, we're saying a lot of people are leaving, but yeah, a lot more people are coming, and a good percentage of those are staying. And also, we want to make sure it's clear that we do love living in Florida. So we're going to break down some of the main issues that are making it difficult for people to stay living in Florida.
The first thing that's making people move away is affordability. As most people know, prices have increased here in Florida, almost doubled in some areas. So a lot of the locals or people that were living here for a while, they can't afford it anymore, so they have to leave.
Yeah, that's becoming a real problem, and that's also trickling down, or I shouldn't even say trickling down, just directly causing increases in rent prices too. Put that together, higher interest rates, higher prices of homes, and now you get like rents that are just unaffordable for people, mortgages that are unaffordable for people, and wages in general. I think, where did I just see this? I don't remember where I saw it, but in the United States, Florida is the least affordable place to live. Not necessarily because houses are the most expensive, but just that for the price of housing, the wages just don't match up. So something's got to give. A lot of people are just leaving, but I think at some point we're going to have issues because now who's going to work all those jobs that don't pay enough to go live here, but the people that live here want to go use those businesses that need those workers. So it's this weird balancing act going on right now. I think something's going to have to give, but there is a lot of changes happening because of that we'll get to in a second.
That's why, and this is a little bit unrelated, somewhat related. If you are able to buy a home, people always say, well, you're a real estate agent, that's why you tell people to buy homes. No, like if you are able to buy a home, it's much better for you, not only because you're increasing your wealth and now you're building equity, but also because your rent, if something like this happens again, your mortgage will stay the same. Your mortgage will not go up. So as long as you are able to afford your mortgage, going into it, you'll be fine.
And you're in control of your house.
Yes.
Like with an apartment or something you're renting, like if you don't like the way something is in it, it's always not something you can change. So. And
some people too get in this place because now rents are higher and the landlord is going to increase the rent, and now they can't afford it, and now they can't find another apartment.
And that brings, I think, a big thing to consider with this whole topic of the crisis. I think you're seeing a lot of people that, okay, right now they're kind of getting squeezed from where they're living right now. We have a friend that we were just talking to who said, they're raising my rates so much, I can't afford to live in this city anymore. I'm gonna have to find somewhere else to go. And he's kind of looking everywhere across the state because he was born and raised in Florida. And now it's like, where am I going to go? Yeah. So you're getting a lot of people that either A, are just leaving the state, or B, having to find a smaller town that's maybe more affordable, that isn't maybe where they even want to live, and then having to commute or just set their life back up there. So it is a very tricky situation for a lot of people, and I think it's making it challenging for a lot of people in the state because of some of the other things we were talking about earlier with needing people to work the jobs, and so it's kind of a mess.
Another reason why we're in this crisis is because of insurance companies as well. A lot of insurance companies are leaving Florida. And also, I think this year we are going to see an increase in our premiums. So that might put some people in a bad spot because we don't know what our insurance is going to be, what our premium is going to be. So that might be high, and we might not have any options because many insurance companies have already left.
And it's causing a lot of other issues too with just, number one, Hurricane Ian caused a lot of trouble all across the state just because of the way it swept right across, caused some major damage in a lot of the Gulf Coast. But making it tricky too now with getting insurance, because if your roof's too old, a lot of insurance companies don't want to cover you. So now that's another new expense that people are having to look at, and just adding in that extra cost of insurance. And now a lot of people are also thinking maybe I should get flood insurance even if I don't need it. So there's a lot of extra costs that are coming into play for even homeowners, even though, we said that is the kind of steady thing. There are still going to be slight increases. Yes. I mean, in your monthly budget that you're going to have to account for. Obviously not as dramatic as what would happen if your rent doubles, but.
Right. And insurance premiums and then also taxes. Your property value might increase, so you might have a higher tax bill, but keep in mind that in Florida, you can homestead your home if it's your primary residence, which means that you get up to a $50,000 credit on your residence, on your tax bill. With that being said, property taxes have increased for many people. Many people that bought in 2021, 2022, they are probably going to see an increase on their property taxes because, especially if they're not homesteaded yet, they will see an increase. And I've actually heard of people that their tax bill doubled already. So that's something to keep in mind as well. But again, we think that that's better than having no control over your rent and now you're homeless because you can't afford your apartment.
Right. I mean, that comes out to a difference of maybe $100, $200, $300 a month max. When you look at that, you know, you look at an increase of like, say, $2,000 to $4,000 for the year. You spread that out, you know, month to month. It's not going to be as astronomical as some of these rent hikes have been.
Yes.
Another issue with the housing crisis, which we're starting to see some relief in this right now, is just overall availability of homes, and that's part of what's driven up the cost of living here. Just there's not as much out there as there was before, but we're starting to see a little bit relief there. We'll see how things continue to change with that. I think if interest rates do go back down in, let's say, the next year, we're probably going to be in a similar boat to where we were a year ago. Just not as crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do think as well that the demand is there. People do want to buy houses. People do want to move to Florida. It's just that they can't afford it because interest rates are so high, property values are so high. So if you bring the property values down and the interest rates down, people are going to start buying again.
I think one other interesting thing to consider with the crisis is the kind of people that are moving to Florida, and this isn't like all you people coming, because we're one of those people, but I mean this more in regards to what they do for work or don't do for work, because a lot of them are retirees, and then there's also a lot of people moving in that have like work from home jobs and things like that. So those people or people that also have their own business in general, I think that's like the main three that are kind of causing somewhat of this issue, because when you get those kinds of people moving down, back to the who's going to work the jobs. There's no one to work those kinds of jobs that all the people that live here need someone to work to go out and be entertained, to have a place to go out to eat and things like that. So then we get back to that issue that we were talking about earlier as far as who's going to work those jobs, but they can't afford to work those jobs and live here. And then all the people coming down have all this money so they can afford it, and it works out dandy for them, and the prices keep going up. So it's just kind of this weird dynamic.
Another factor that's contributing to this crisis is that there is not a lot of job opportunities here. Some people that are able to move down are transferring their jobs here, so they already have a job established, and therefore they don't need a job. So again, who's going to work those jobs? I have noticed that most people that do work the restaurant service jobs are either really young, like maybe high school kids, or older, maybe like retirees as well. So I don't think like the middle-aged people or like 20-somethings to like 50-somethings are working those jobs either. Yeah,
and there's just limited types of jobs here. I mean, there's not a lot of office work, there's not a lot of factory work. You're seeing mostly like healthcare, service industry, construction and yeah, something along those lines, or handyman, stuff like that. So again, like you almost have to have your own business, be transferred down, or be retired,
or remote,
or work from home type work,
or have your own business.
Yeah, and if you don't have that, it's tough. These are some of the biggest factors contributing to the current crisis, but there's also some other ones that are making a lot of people want to leave Florida. We covered those in the previous video that we mentioned, which you can see right here.
If you are looking to move down to the Venice, Sarasota areas, make sure to call, text, or email us. I am a local realtor here. My information will be in the description box below.
Phone number is 941-221-1897. We're always going to have your best interest and happiness in mind when buying or selling a home in the area. We hear from people all the time, and we love it. If you found the video interesting or helpful, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on all notifications, and live breezy.